commitments. So some of these segments are maybe more older, retired. They're able to take advantage of some of those time deals. They can get up and go at a notice. Free spirits like to, but they might not be able to. So this might draw them in, but they also like to, if you think about it, they like to move in crowds. Okay, so they like to go places with their friends. It might be difficult for them to get their friends all organized for something like this too, okay? Appreciation. Invite your friends, refer a friend and earn a $25 gift credit. Enjoy the season of giving with our exclusive friends and family discount. Friends and family event, 35% off. So discount, but associated with appreciation. Upgrades. Don't we all like upgrades? So capture the best of the sun and fun with a VIP upgrade. Just so you know, you actually have to buy that VIP upgrade. And then we have here the St. James, receive a complimentary room upgrade. Which room? So this is actually tying in a speed, a time-sensitive aspect as well. Upgrade the room. So which segments might they appeal to? Yeah, the aspiration to luxury, for sure, with them. And just the bragging rights of being able to say I have a special membership, so that exclusivity and all of that type of thing as well. Now, cultural explorers and authentic experiencers aren't generally looking for luxury. Okay, so, but that doesn't mean that they wouldn't appreciate an upgrade. It would depend more on what that experience is. So if the upgrade is to go out with a local, okay, you can move, become a member and you can actually do a guided trip with one of our locals. Or if the upgrade, if you're dealing with, it's not a branded hotel, but it's a small inn and it's the next level room up, yeah, they'd be interested. So again, it all depends on the overall package, okay? So it's not going to be the branded hotel that appeals to the cultural explorer and authentic experiencer, because that's a stronger value system for them, okay? Gift with purchase. So we've got a few different things here, and you can see various ones. So again, a gift with purchase, sure, lots of people like to get that little extra. It's the value add, right? But the value add has to speak to their values. That's the key thing here. I'm not saying these speak to specific values, but if you're going to create a value add, it needs to tie in, it needs to relate to what the values of that explorer type are. Make sense? Okay. Okay, so now applying messages, values to the media selection. Let me just do a quick time check here. Okay, we'll go through this and then I think we're going to have some refreshments come in and we should be good with that. So the first thing you need to do is to determine what media you're using. Again, we talked earlier about how the DMOs basically have the bigger budgets when it comes to media. And so they're probably in some of the more traditional media. That's probably not where most of your budgets sit. So you need to really understand, okay, what are you doing here and how do you put it out? So let's go through. We've got a little bit of data here in terms of the media stage on the path to purchase. So again, our path to purchase, we've got thinking about the visit, and that's where branding becomes important. And when I say branding, it's not just about big brands. So here, of course, for the marketing organizations, DMOs, PMOs, and the national offices, yeah, you're branding Canada, you're branding the province, you're branding the region, you're branding the city. These are big things. And while cultural explorers and authentic experiences may not be big on brand as a social value, the way you're branding, you're talking about experiences, it's about lifting them up, okay? So don't get too hung up when I talk about brand that way, all right? And then planning the visit. So if we look at thinking about a visit, so these are all of the EQ types, and this is based on some of the research that was done as part of the refresh. You can see that peer-to-peer, word-of-mouth advocacy is one of the higher influences on at the planning stage, okay? So that path to purchase where we had advocacy at the end, they've finished their experience and they're starting to tell others, it is, in fact, right up there as one of the key things that people will look at when they're starting to plan a purchase. Media relations, unpaid media, also right up there. So again, this is sort of about, truth in advertising. Let's say if it's unpaid media, it's PR, those sorts of things, guidebooks, etc. Not always seen as a paid for, so slotted in. This is about, what people are saying. It's just a little more formalized. Traditional advertising is right up there. And then websites. Websites, the key takeaway here is at this planning, inspiring stage, websites aren't generally the first place that people will go to. That comes further down the road. That's where you guys can really play in. So if we look at the planning stage, you can still see that, peer-to-peer, word-of-mouth advocacy comes in because you're starting to think of the details and you're talking to your friends. But this is where websites pop right up. This is where you guys actually have an awful lot of control. They're starting to get into the details. The traditional travel advertising is played down, and even the media relations, unpaid media, has started to push down somewhat. Any surprises to you guys in this? Does this make sense to you? So really, right in here, that's a key part of the whole, that's where websites and where you guys can come in. So while the marketing organizations are promoting experiences, CTC, for example, has their signature experiences collection, so that's being elevated. These are the kinds of things you can do in Canada, help you play the movie. You need to be providing on your websites experiences, presenting them as experiences, not as products. Go through a few notes here. So cultural explorers, I know that's a key group for you guys. They tend to listen to reliable sources for vacation planning, so the family, and trustworthy sources such as, they actually trust the DMO and websites and the travel guides. This information is actually down at even more detail, but they do trust the travel guides and DMO websites. They're giving a higher score for the national and DMO websites. So you want to make sure that your products, are working with the websites that, Nicholas is putting together here for the region, because they will look at those regional websites. They're similar to authentic experiencers in that they have a higher use of operator websites. So they tend to make their own plans and all those sorts of things. And it really is a reflection of their desire to be independent travelers. I mean, they're generally not traveling as part of groups, so they're working through things themselves, okay? The free spirits, which I know is a secondary segment for you guys, they're the highest users of the traditional advertising and travel trade channels. So, I mean, interestingly, they're right up there with the social media and everything else. But because they do believe in big business, they do believe in advertising, and they do believe in brands and all those sorts of things, they actually tend to trust some of these other things, whereas the cultural explorers and authentic experiencers going down to the locals. They use websites, but they have the lowest use of the national and the DMO type websites when it comes to planning. They have the lowest reliance on unpaid media in general for planning. And particularly around guidebooks, okay? That's what the authentic experiencers and cultural experiencers use. They do use social media. So it's really important, if you're wanting to be attracting them, that you are where they are. So have your Facebook page. So what we want to do is use EQ to develop experiences and then also to write about them in a way that will draw in those target EQs. So